Deeper Than Music Radio. Behind every great song is a greater story.
Deeper than music. The core of you, the fans, the truth is deeper than music. Deeper than music. Simply the truth is the latest, the newest. It's deeper than music. Deeper than music. The core of you, the fans, the truth is deeper than music. Deeper than music. Simply the truth is the latest, the newest. It's deeper than music. Deeper than music.
Hello. This is Marquivas. Nias, Deeper Than Music Radio. Behind every great song is an even greater story. I like to say what's up to everybody listening to us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Spreaker, and iHeartRadio. I also like to announce as well that we're on another platform now. If anybody out there who owns a Roku, check out Nias Media, Nious Media. That's our new platform that we're on. We're expanding just beyond podcasting. And on there, you'll find the Deeper Than Music series, where we're also showcasing interviews and music videos of previous guests and up-and-coming talent. So today, we have a very, very important guest, and her music is much needed. And I like that her music is connecting on the human level, because right now, with what's going on in social distancing, we're not really getting human contact, right? We're all in our houses, unfortunately, because of this virus. We have to social distance. But the next guest that I have here on this very special episode is from Los Angeles, Lo Brooke, and her motivation is, as humans, she wants everybody to feel and connect with one another, and she's doing this through her music. Her influences are great, such as Marvin Gaye, Erykah Badu, Sade, Neil Young, and Bob Dylan. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have special guest Lo Brooke here on Deeper Than Music Radio. Lo Brooke, how you doing?
Hi everyone, how's it going?
Doing pretty good, and it's great to have you on the show. And so, how's everything in your neck of the woods, considering with this pandemic that we got going on here?
It's okay. I'm starting to kind of get a routine. I'm having to stay home from work from my day job. So that started on Thursday. So I've just been kind of taking it slow, being a little lazy, but now I'm starting to pick it up and get like a routine going.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, it's all about, in these crazy times, it's all about, having a routine. And I guess with being a musician as well, it gives you time to also create, I would imagine, as well.
Exactly. And that's the cool part, is like, this is kind of everything that I have asked for. I wish there was, and then it's like, be careful what you ask for. But it's also awesome because, now I do have the time to let myself be creative and not be like bogged down by work and whatnot. So I'm lucky to be able to create.
You know what? And you bring up an interesting point, because I feel in life, especially with technology, we really get distracted. Like even today, driving, I live in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. When you go out, there's no traffic. And then actually, I was actually in my house, had the windows open. I'm like, wow, you don't hear the traffic in the distance, but you can hear the birds and things like that. But I just feel like sometimes we're very, very distracted. Although we're socially distancing, it gives you a lot of time to yourself, a lot of time to think and, smell the roses and kind of take a break from the day-to-day fast life. I'm trying to make light of this pandemic.
Yeah, seriously. I know. And then it makes you appreciate things like, I won't go to the store every day, but like maybe every 3 days I'll need to go get something. And you're kind of around people and you're like, this is kind of nice being around people, when before, I don't know, you kind of take it for granted and you're like, oh, all these people, Yeah. So there's definitely some things that are coming from this in a positive way,
Yeah. So my first question to you is, to the many listeners out there listening to us on the various streaming platforms, I described a little bit of your motivation for music, but how would you describe who is Lo Brooke and what are you bringing to music?
Generally, I just kind of started kind of like a lot of other musicians with, like, you're kind of born with the love for it. Yeah. And so since I was a kid, I just always was, affected by people whose music like hit my heart, and all of us musicians are very emotional, and I'm definitely one of those kind of musicians. And so I've always just kind of wanted to make another person feel something and to connect with them. And like, I think that's what everyone really wants in life, is just someone to like connect with and know that, we're on the same level. You're not alone, kind of thing. And so I think that's a lot of where my inspiration comes from, is just how can I get a song to like connect with another person, and how can I like put these lyrics together so that they could feel kind of what I feel, if that makes sense.
Okay. And at a young age, did you know that you wanted to be a musician, and did you come from a musical background?
My musical background, it's kind of sparse. It's more like my grandpa was in a barbershop quartet when he was like a teenager with his brothers, and he was the bass. And like on my mom's side of the family, I had cousins that like were wedding singers and whatnot. But literally since I can remember, I was like writing songs, and like during recess while kids were like swinging and playing on the monkey bars and stuff, me and my friend Katie, we would go in the corner by a tree and like write songs. Like that's literally what we did. So I kind of always had a feeling that I wanted to be a songwriter and a musician. So it's been since day one.
Yeah. And what came first? Was it the songwriting and then you became a musician, or were you learn to play a music instrument and then songwrite?
It was definitely songwriting first. And then I got older, like in high school, and I realized like, oh wait, why don't I play guitar? And I had my brother-in-law, he played guitar, and I was like, hey, can you teach me like a couple chords? And he was like, sure. And so he kind of started teaching me a couple chords, and then I kind of just taught myself from there. I picked up a guitar off the side of the road, actually.
Oh,
and
wow.
I was like, I think like the strings were super broken, and I had my brother-in-law, and then I was like, okay, this is gonna be my first guitar. And then finally my parents, bless their hearts, bought me a guitar for Christmas.
Oh, there you go.
So, yeah.
There you go. So queued up, I have one of your songs here called I Need You. Could you give us the song and inspiration behind this single?
So this song was actually written with along like a few years, because I think it was 2000 and like maybe 2011, and then I didn't get back into the song until like 2014 or something like that. It was because I read a lot of my stuff through voice memos. I'll just like record an idea, and so I just had like kind of an idea of a chorus. And then a few years later, I came across it and I was like, oh, wait, now I can finish the song. And the inspiration really just kind of came from a few things. Some of it was from a family member who passed away. I think it was my grandpa that passed away at that time. And I was like, okay, this doesn't necessarily have to be geared towards love. It can be geared towards like the passing of somebody. But then it also has a double meaning, because it also had to do with like someone that I like really loved, and I just wanted to like be with him again and that kind of thing. And so it's definitely like a double meaning song.
Okay. And ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here. The story behind I Need You with special guest Lo Brooke here on Deeper Than Music.
Deeper Than Music Radio.
I wanna live through you. And can I breathe the air that's inside of you? Can I feel the embrace of your touch? Can you save me? Oh, won't you save me from myself? How can I be living like this without you hear me feeling your kiss? I need you. I'm missing you so bad, I can't even live till I'm up there to send you right back where you belong. Oh, can you hear my song? Oh, I need you. since I have even heard your name. And it hurts that your memory's slipping away. But how can I be living like this without you hear me feeling your kiss? I need you. I'm missing you so bad I can't even live till I'm up there to send you right back where you belong. Oh, can you hear my song? Oh, I need you. Oh, I need you. Oh, you save me. Oh, baby. Oh, my sweet baby. I need you, I need you, I need you so. Oh, I miss you. Come back to me. Oh, but how can I be living like this without you hear me feeling your kiss? I need you. I'm missing you so bad I can't even live till I'm up there to send you right back where you belong. Oh, can you hear my song? Oh, I need you. Oh, I need you. I need you.
Behind every great song, there is a greater story. Deeper Than Music Radio. Behind every...
Ladies and gentlemen, I Need You, Lo Brooke here on Deeper Than Music Radio. Man, that is a deep song, and I like that you say it has a double meaning, so it could also mean love and then losing a loved one.
Yeah, exactly.
So, go ahead.
Yeah. It's obviously more geared towards like me, kind of like a breakup situation, and missing that person that you love and like romantically, but also just missing anybody is kind of the whole point.
And then you said you did the song and then kind of sat on it for a minute. What brought you back to the song after it being tucked away for so long?
Well, I guess when I first started writing it, it was more about like death in a way, and then I just didn't really know how to finish it, and I just didn't really go back to it, and then got my heart broken, kind of exactly that kind of what helped me finish it. So it brought me back to a place of sadness, because in some senses, like when you break up with somebody, it's kind of a death of a relationship. So it's kind of they kind of relate to each other,
Yeah. So when you do music or when you create, what comes first, the melody or the lyrics?
It always changes. It kind of depends on where I'm at that day. I've written most of my songs I write through my acoustic guitar, and I started with just kind of like finding a chord progression that I really like, or just finding a sound that I like, and then I'll just start kind of singing and just seeing what comes out. That's how I do most of my writing. But there are other times where, like one time I wrote a song, I was like, okay, I want this to be more R&B feeling. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to literally just write some lyrics and then write the music. And so I wrote a bunch of lyrics that kind of had to do with one idea, which the song's called Seduction. That's not recorded yet, so I'm still working on that. Mm-hmm. And then I just kind of rhymed some words together and like then structured it. And then I was able to just easily apply it to like some guitar structure or guitar chord structure that I really liked. So it really depends.
Okay. And so we you're working on the album, tentative to release in 2021, correct? Or
yeah, especially 2021. It's been in progress for a really long time, but I've been going through all kinds of different life challenges since I started recording these songs. So yeah, 2021 hoping we can get it out by then.
Oh yeah, hopefully, and hopefully we'll get over this hump, right? So
Seriously,
I'm so
it's
looking
like,
forward to 2021 and like
me
being this
too.
in our rearview mirror.
Let's just throw 2020 away.
Yeah, no, I actually told somebody, I was like, man, we just might as well just, you remember that Adam Sandler movie where he had the remote and he could like fast forward. I'm like,
yes.
yeah, let's just fast forward past 2020.
Exactly.
But so as you have this melting pot or this crock pot of your album that you're working on. What can we expect? Like what type of music, what type of sounds, moods can we expect from your future release?
A lot of it's more of an EP than an album because I still haven't released an EP yet. So I do want to do an album eventually, which I already am writing music for that too. But the EP is mainly going to be acoustic, and there's going to be some electric guitar here and there, but very sparse. So a lot of it's going to be acoustic guitar. A lot of it does have to do with heartbreak, and the album or the EP is called Narrow Bridges because mainly it just has to do with the fact of like having a lot of people by your side, and then you start off with a wide bridge and then slowly it gets kind of narrow as you go through life and you meet people and go through challenges with each other. So a lot of it has to do with life's challenges,
Yeah. And so I like the title, Narrow Bridges. So next queued up is Unconditional. Could you give us the story behind this song?
So Unconditional started. It's also I always do a lot of double meanings, but it pretty much has to do with loving somebody and knowing that maybe you guys aren't supposed to be together, but you still unconditionally do all the things that you would normally do for someone that you love, even if it's not going to end up the way you thought it would. You guys aren't going to end up together, but you guys still just are holding on to this like love that you have for each other. So it's about unconditionally loving a person.
Okay, and here we go, ladies and gentlemen, with special guest Lo Brooke, Unconditional, here on Deeper Than Music.
They always said that you're gonna lose a friend along this journey that you're on. Of course I always thought that I was the only exception, but as it turns out, it seems to be that we were all pretend. He said it's so crazy how you still want me. I'm doing my best to push you away, but you just seem to say it's so beautiful how you still love me more. But put your hand in my hand, it's okay, I got it, don't give it up, don't look the other way. How is it so easy to be consumed by you? It's an out-of-body experience when you get to my head. And I felt so crazy for living like this, and it hurts so bad to be made of a fool like this. He said it's so crazy how you still want me. I'm doing my best to push you away, but you just seem to say it's so beautiful how you still love me more. But put your hand in my hand, it's okay, I got it, don't give it up, don't look the other way. No, don't look the other way, don't look the other way, no, no. He said it's so crazy how you still want me. Doing my best to push you away, but you just seem to stay. Push me away, but I just seem to say it's so beautiful how I still love you. But put your head in my hand, it's okay, I got it, don't give it up, don't look the other way.
Ladies and gentlemen, Lo Brooke, Unconditional. Man, I gotta say, you have a phenomenal voice, and the songwriting is so on point.
Thank you.
Man. So 2021, new album in the works, or your debut album.
Yes.
Question. So as working on this album, getting your music out there, what has been the most challenging aspect of your career?
I guess just trying to get out there, and I mean, in general, completing an album is not easy. Writing it might be the easiest part, I think, and then actually getting it done and getting it like fine-tuned is what takes the longest time. So yeah, just coordinating with mixers and mastering engineers, and making sure, you know, it's literally the fine details that count to make an album something that you want everyone to hear. So there's been a lot of setbacks with like personal health issues and money, of course, and so I think that's the hardest part, is really just getting something complete.
Yeah. So just getting, finding the right people and then financing your project. I mean, we all know being independent is you have to fund it, but in the end, you reap the benefits of it's yours, and you mastered it. And then you always hear the horror stories of signed artists that things didn't go right or the contract wasn't right. So with being independent, you have that freedom and you own your content. And on the flip side, what has been the most rewarding aspect of your career?
Honestly, just playing live is my favorite thing. I've played at Hotel Cafe a couple times, and I maybe 3 times I played there, and every single time it's just been an awesome audience, and you could just feel them like really honing in on your art, and that's really awesome. There's like no better feeling than performing for people and connecting with them.
Okay. And then for a person that's listening to this podcast and they're like, wow, I love Lo Brooke's sound, I want to be just like her. What advice would you give somebody coming into the music scene and wanting to be an indie artist?
I would say write every single day, and that's something that I'm trying to practice. It's so important to just keep your content as large as you can, because you never know what part of a song you can add to another part of a song. So it's important to just keep those like creative juices flowing. And then also, just as far as the scene, I'm still learning about the LA scene, but just don't ever think that anything is too high for you to reach. So as cheesy as that is, it's so true.
No, you gotta have the right mindset, because being an artist or even just trying to create your own niche or your own path, there's going to be times where, people are going to say no. Like you say, the situation isn't right. You have to put things on hold. So you definitely have to have that attitude of keep going. Eventually things are coming to fruition.
Exactly. So. I mean, I thought that playing at Hotel Cafe was going to be like way further in the future. And I just thought it was kind of unreachable. And if I would have known then what I know now, then I would have, tried a little harder before, because, once if you just keep going and keep trying, then you'll eventually get what you want.
Yep. So, ladies and gentlemen, we had another great episode with Lo Brooke. Last question, or actually last two questions. Shameless promotion time. Like, where can listeners hear your music, website, social media? This is your time to just promote away where you are.
Most of my music is going to be on Spotify and on iTunes, and I do have some songs on YouTube as well. You can find me at Lo Brooke, LO space BROOKE. And then I also do some videos on Instagram as well, and that's going to be Lo Brooke Music. So all the social media is Lo Brooke, and all the music platforms as well.
Okay. And last question, what does music mean to Lo Brooke?
Music is life. That's what I've always written. It's literally my life, and it's the one constant in my life that I'm without it to me.
Okay, so music is life. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here from artist Lo Brooke, and we got to preview two of her songs. Working on an EP 2021. So, ladies and gentlemen, be on the lookout. And Lo Brooke, thanks again for being here on Deeper Than Music Radio. Greatly appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.
No problem. So, ladies and gentlemen, another great episode here of Deeper Than Music. Thank you for listening.
It's deeper than music, deeper than music. Simply the truth is the latest, the newest. It's deeper than music, deeper than music. The core of you, the fans, the truth. It's deeper than music, deeper than music. Simply the truth is the latest, the newest. It's deeper than music, deeper than music.